All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Araya Harley, and I am the Communications and the Events Manager for the Kent Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to just start off by going over a little bit of rules and engagements for this workshop. We will be recording the workshop, and it will be available on our Kent Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel. So if for some reason you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Following this presentation, I will be sending the recording out for you guys, so keep that in mind. And also, we will have contact information and time for a Q&A option here. Now, today we are Kent Chamber of Commerce is hosting the Puget Sound Energy's Business Energy Management Programs and Incentives. And our speaker today is Heather Pierce. She is the PSC West King County Outreach Manager. She is going to host our presentation today. So I will go ahead and give Heather the floor. Thank you, Heather.
Thanks so much, Araya, and thanks Kent Chamber for hosting this event. I am obviously excited about being a customer outreach manager and being able to share our commercial energy efficiency and savings programs that I think a lot of customers don't realize is available to them. So there is a lot of content in this presentation, and some of it's really dense and engineering speak. So don't be intimidated by that. I just wanted to present the information, give a really good broad overview, and then of course, have questions available at the end of the presentation today. And you can always reach out to me at any time. And my contact information is on the presentation as well. So I'll go ahead and get started. And just to give you an overview of the agenda, just to better understand what I'll be talking about today, it'll be an overview of PSE's commitment to sustainability and clean energy, and then a program overview of our large commercial programs for energy efficiency. And then I will dip into small and medium business programs and highlight some Kent-based projects, and then talk about commercial new construction and retrofit, energy efficiency buildings for any energy efficiency projects for buildings 50,000 square feet or more. And there's some legislation that's attached to these kinds of projects that I'll also touch on today as well. And then a little bit about our commercial renewable programs, our trade ally network, and a great plug for, I think, an incredible statewide program called EnviroStars that I hope all businesses participate in. And it's free to businesses to become an EnviroStar. So I'll go ahead and get started here with our first topic, which is really just talking about PSE as, it's the largest utility in Washington State, with serving more than 1 million customers. And a part of our commitment to sustainability and moving toward a clean energy future is PSE's focus on collaboration with our customers. So we like to call that the Together Initiative, because it really will take all of us working together to achieve a clean energy future. And then we accomplish this in part by offering commercial customer expert assessments, low and no cost equipment, systems upgrades and incentives, as well as strategic performance and operations programs to reduce your energy usage and lower your bills, and overall becoming more sustainable. And then we also have renewable energy programs and electric vehicle programs that customers can participate in as well, in coordination with our energy efficiency programs. Today's workshop will focus on commercial energy efficiency though, but happy to come back in the future and talk about some of our other programs in more depth. And so I will go ahead and get started with our big alphabet soup acronym programs. So PSE's commercial and industrial energy efficiency programs are divided into 4 broad categories for projects that are really large scale, like for 50,000 square feet or campuses type projects that are also, just a really good fit probably for these mandates coming up that I'll talk about in a little bit. So first we have commissioning programs, which really is the type of program that encompasses the most comprehensive project. So you're talking about capital investments, operations and management, equipment, and it's tailored for that business. And there's usually deferred maintenance involved as well. So most of these I will talk a little bit more in depth, but I just wanted to acclimate you to some of these terms so that they don't seem intimidating as we move forward in the discussion. Okay, and the next program, another big one, Industrial System Optimization Program, or we like to call it ISOP. And this program concentrates on business sites that specialize in manufacturing and processing, or sites where the subsystem maintains really long run hours and offers businesses the opportunity to work with a PSE team to identify action items that include estimated energy savings, annual energy savings attached to that action item, and then how to turn that action item into a business process or protocol, as well as provide recommendations of capital energy project opportunities. Next, we have Commercial Strategic Energy Management, or CSEM. And this focuses on behavioral changes and optimizing facility energy management through operational maintenance and occupant practices. So really behaviorally focused. And then we have Industrial Strategic Energy Management, or ISEM. And this focuses on an on-site level, so more of a campus versus a building, very energy intensive campus probably, or site that works, and the program works with customers to lower operating costs, identify energy saving projects that provide customers incentives that cover the costs associated with actually creating those process improvements or behavioral changes, and works closely with the O&M teams on site to help with the implementation process. And like I said, I'll go into a little bit more detail about the specific programs later in the presentation. And I just wanted to at least acclimate you to some of these terms, but I'm going to pivot towards more of our most popular programs that are utilized by both our large and small business customers. So our business lighting program is by far the most widely utilized program in the commercial sector. It's lighting efficiency projects really yield high long-term savings, and they're not a high cost, but they can sometimes reduce energy usage for what was like 40% of the energy use in a building or on a campus. So no matter what size of the business, installation is really quick. It's not very disruptive. So it's a really good way to start energy efficiency for a business at any size. And a lot of times the projects are covered up to 70%. In 2020, we offered incentives as much as 100%, which might be carried over into 2021 as well. And then we have our West Valley Business Park project. So I wanted to find projects that were actually done in Kent, obviously, which is great. And so this is an example of a project done in November of this last year at West Valley Business Park. And so BKM Commercial Property acquired this campus in late 2019 with plans to renovate and improve efficiencies. And the on-site manager actually found a lighting contractor who is leasing space at the West Valley Business Park. So it was a great opportunity to have somebody who really understood the campus to do the installation. This was an exterior lighting project. And the on-site manager and Leo, so Leo Vasquez from Lights There was the contractor. And so he submitted all the paperwork for the incentives to PSE on behalf of BKM. And they mentioned that, you know, they've have a really improved lighting experience when walking through the dark parking lots. And then other on-site equipment. People don't think about this very much, but improving that exterior lighting actually improves their security system. And I'm not sure if you guys are experiencing this in camp, but there's been a higher rate, according to BKM, of just people loitering on the campus and just having more just concerns around crime. So having that improved safety equipment as an added benefit to the lighting project is a really great feature. And then just talking about the savings a bit, you know, you're looking at almost 26,000 in 26,000 kilowatt hours of annual savings, or annual savings of 26,000 kilowatt hours. And then around 60% of the annual energy savings for the campus itself, and almost $7,000 in project costs were paid by the PSE incentive. So it was a substantial portion of the project costs, and then you have this great new exterior lighting feature, and also a great way to engage with new leasees about the safety on the campus. And so I'm going to pivot to small business, which is really my favorite sector of the businesses that we work with, because their margins are so tight. Anything that a small business does can really impact the bottom line, right? In a way that it just is not the same for a larger business. So it's really important to me that small businesses know that these programs exist, because now more than ever, it really impacts the bottom line and could impact and could, mean the difference between being in business and not. So as I mentioned, lighting incentives are available to businesses of all sizes, and small businesses take advantage of these lighting projects all the time, a lot of times covered at 100%. As you can see, a small business is considered 10,000 square foot or under. I know it says under 10,000 square feet, but it's really like 10,000 square feet or under. So, and then the most popular small business program, though, is probably our direct install program, which includes PSE having a contractor come out and do a free energy assessment on the property. And then a trained PSE energy professional will review the assessment with the business owner and look at recommendations that the business can engage in to improve energy efficiency, and really look for the highest yield project and savings and incentives that are available to them. And some of these projects that are really common in the direct install program include LED lighting, of course, occupancy sensors, refrigeration, water savers, and HVAC. And the industries range from retail, grocery, restaurants, dental, and medical practices. It's really the gamut of small business. And I just think a really great incentive program out there that I'm hoping to get more people involved in, so that they can engage in the same kind of environmental sustainability that larger businesses have access to. And I am going to feature, okay, this is this is going to be a trick. As technology is so much fun, I'm going to go ahead and share a different screen right now so that you can see a video of a small business in Kent that took advantage of the small business direct install program. So let me see if I can get it started here. I will feel very savvy if I get this going. Oh, let's see. It's on this one. No, this one. Okay. I think it's this one. All right. Do you guys? Oh, nope. Sorry. Just a second. Dang it. I almost had it. All right. Here we go. Okay. Do you see a screen? Do you hear that? Okay, great.
We've been here maybe for like 13, 14 years already. We started off with a small space, and then after, with time, we kept increasing it, and we've been always like trying to have everything that people ask for, not only Mexican food, but Central American food, Peruvian food. We try to have a little bit of everything. It means a lot to them. We had some lights that weren't working at all. This one wasn't, this one. It was pretty much like 3 here that weren't working. So once they were done, everything looked really good. Like everything's one color, and it brightened up the whole store and restaurant.
All right, so I will move this back to the presentation here. Oh no, what is going on? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I am Going back to the presentation now. Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and move through this one. And so just to put a pin in that before I move forward with the new construction, you know, I got to work on that project and interview Eduardo and go to the restaurant and see the improvements. And like I said, lighting is just a great great entry point, because, you know, he could work with teams at PSE to see if there's opportunities to get really low cost or no cost commercial kitchen upgrade equipment, HVAC system. So these are all different measures that can be applied even for small businesses. And there are just incredible incentives right now, more than ever, because of what we're dealing with the economy. Our incentives are matching that in a lot of ways. So I really highly recommend businesses look into these programs and reach out to me, and we can get started on the process. So and also, if you become, you know, an energy efficiency customer and you have a great story, we can create a nice little marketing piece for you as well. So that's also something I enjoy doing, and love to be able to get our customers a perspective. It's also important that our program managers understand what matters to customers, and we really are that conduit for them to make sure that these engineers that don't really, you know, live in the real world when it comes to the practice of these projects and how it impacts the customer, we get to share that information. So it's really important to get that information from you. And I just wanted to make that point. But I'll go ahead and move on to the commercial new construction programs that we have, and they are available to customers that are either building new commercial properties or also multifamily properties. And they are financing incentives, building material incentives, and including weatherization, which I think is a really important one. You're going to get more interest from residents or even commercial customers who are renting spaces if you have really good insulation and windows, because they end up paying for that cost of energy a lot of times. So that's something to think about. And we offer a lot of that stuff up to 100% for the costs of those materials. And you have those real cost savings and value add to your property. And then that's also available to the retrofit program, which offers up to 70% of savings. And we had a campaign last year for commercial retrofit that was a custom grant opportunity for 100% of savings. And that includes HVAC, compressed air, you know, building controls. And we just have some really great custom programs that we want to make sure that you guys are the most energy efficient you can be, and to make that as cost effective as possible. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of our retrofit and new construction programs. And I'm going to pivot again to talking a little bit more about the larger scale projects. I know we've had a lot of acronym conversations and introductions, but circling back to these projects that are 50,000 square feet or larger, you know, this was really focused on in the last couple of years because an important piece of legislation triggered a focus on this type of project. And I'll go into a little bit of that in just a moment about the legislation itself for large commercial programs, and then, for 50,000 square feet buildings or more. And then talk about some of the good match programs for compliance with that mandate. So let's see here. All right, so I'm not sure if any of you have heard of this bill, but it's HB or House Bill 1257, often called the Clean Buildings Standard. And this bill was passed into law in the 2019-2020 legislative session. The law requires that existing buildings 50,000 square feet or larger must adopt energy efficiency standards based on OSHRA's 100 criteria. And it's really just a criteria for reducing energy consumption through improved energy efficiency and performance in existing buildings. And generally speaking, you know, this is about 6% of Washington State's building stock. So it's not a huge amount of the building stock in Washington State, but it is a high energy usage, this 6% of the building stock. So that's why the concentration is on these types of buildings. Kent and Federal Way have a lot of commercial and industrial spaces. And so I wanted to make sure that businesses, you know, that chamber members were aware of this standard that's coming online and very soon. So thinking about that in a little more detail, there are, you know, exemptions to these building to the standard, which include industrial manufacturing spaces. So if you are if you're primarily using your business for industrial or manufacturing purposes, you're likely exempt from this. But any other kind of commercial space that's 50,000 square feet or more, like a hospital or some kind of medical building, they are going to be required to meet these standards. Agricultural structures are also exempt. And if the building owner is experiencing economic hardship, they could be exempt. And the definition of what it means to be experiencing economic hardship based on the exemption is well defined in the bill itself. And so if anybody wants to take a look at the bill, of course, you can go on the legislative website, but you can also reach out to me. I know where the bill is. I have a copy of it. I reviewed it. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out to me. And then, you know, early compliance actually begins this year. So the early adoption, the voluntary adoption is this year, which if you can find a way to comply this year, then you're going to get the most incentives and the highest cost savings. So it's a good opportunity to really look into it. But requirements will begin in 2026 and enforcement triggered for buildings more than 220,000 gross square feet. And then it will be 2027 when 90,000 gross square feet buildings or higher will be triggered for enforcement. And then 2028 buildings 50,000 gross square feet or larger will come into enforcement. And as you can see, the penalty is up to $1 per square foot. And it is the building owner's responsibility to come into compliance. So that's a lot of research on the part of building owners when they're really busy. So PSE has committed to making this process easier and more cost-effective through highlighting some commercial programs that we think are really good fits to meet this mandate. So some of those programs include pay for performance. Oops, I skipped a slide here, I think. Hold on. Yes, okay. I wanted to at least talk a little bit about process and like how businesses, how commercial building owners can begin this process. And really it starts with talking within your organization. And there are several trainings, including one coming up on March 23rd. If you go to the Washington State Department of Commerce website, you can actually register for this Zoom session on March 23rd, which is a great Q&A session. And you can also subscribe to the Clean Buildings Bulletin through the Department of Commerce website. And then, of course, you'll want to review the OSHRA 100 standards and potentially even designate a qualified person or personnel to review and lead adoption of energy management standards in the building or the campus. And also determine, like I said, if the early adoption incentive program is feasible, it's a really good idea to start the compliance now. And then PSE has a My Data tool, which is easy to download, and businesses have real-time access to their energy use. It's a great way to really start looking into seeing how you can achieve energy savings at the lowest cost possible. All right, so as I mentioned, we have some programs that we think will be a natural fit to meet the mandate, and that includes pay for performance, commissioning, building tune-up, and CSEM. And then we also have lighting, grants, commercial kitchen equipment, other control upgrades that are also available to help meet these new targets. But I'll go into a little bit more detail about these programs here. And so pay for performance is really a custom grant program, and it's a whole systems approach and targets buildings with energy efficiency opportunities across multiple systems. It does require that based on analysis of the building, there would be a 15% savings overall for the building, including operations and management, behavior change, and incentive payments are based on achieved savings over a 5-year period. So that would be a good fit overview, if you will, of a pay for performance project. And then we have existing building commissioning. This is probably the most comprehensive whole systems approach. This is where customers are high energy users and where energy use is only expected to increase over time. Evidence of deferred maintenance is a common feature of a good existing building for this type of project. And then building managers, facility managers really need to be motivated to and eager to receive the training to employ better energy efficiency practices. So a motivated staff, some deferred maintenance, of course, the 50,000 square foot or more is going to be a requirement of any of these projects or programs I'm talking about right now. But really, really great incentive opportunities that you can work on with our energy management engineers. And then we have the building tune-up, which our engineers like to call commissioning light. And this is really just focused on similar properties of what would qualify for a commissioning project, except it really focuses on heavy hitting projects, the maximum energy efficiency possible, but not necessarily comprehensive. So you might have some projects that you're not going to do as a part of this building tune-up project, but maybe in the future you'll engage in those projects. And then you still want to have a really motivated staff to participate in the implementation of these projects and energy efficiency practices. And then we have commercial strategic energy management, CSEM. This program focuses on customers that consume at least 1 million kilowatt hours of PSE electricity or 135,000 PSE maintenance and other kinds of improvements, behavior changes, and capital projects. And the benefits include operational cost savings, financial incentives, and access to PSE provided web-based energy consumption software tracking system. So that's a really great perk to participating in CSEM. And then, so that really rounds out the 4 primary projects for commercial customers to meet that energy efficiency mandate that will be coming online in 2026. So we have pay for performance, building commissioning, building tune-up, and CSEM. And then I think, you can also combine that with other projects like renewable projects. So I'll go ahead and just give a little bit of an overview of PSE's renewable programs for commercial customers. And we have a voluntary renewable energy program or programs, I should say, designed to keep sustainability within reach for our customers. Each way is to reduce the carbon footprint of your business and make use of Pacific Northwest's really abundant clean power resources. So we have a green power program. This is a renewable power made from, this program focuses on renewable power made from wind, solar, and biogas. And it is a green energy certified program. So that means it meets the environmental and consumer protection standards set forth by the nonprofit Center for Resource Solutions. And then we have carbon balance. Oh, and I guess I should say that green power is really for our electric customers. And then we have carbon balance available to our natural gas customers. And as little as $3 a month, a business can directly support local carbon reduction projects that work to reduce or capture greenhouse gases. And each carbon offset block that you purchase represents the reduction of greenhouse gases with the equivalent of 400 pounds of carbon dioxide. So really great renewable energy programs that commercial customers can participate in. And then I'm just going to show like what we have going right now. There are 900 green power commercial customers and 70 carbon balance commercial customers. We have a lot more in the residential sector, but you have to think about the amount of energy that you're saving at the commercial level. So there's still a good amount of participation and more coming online all the time. And that includes Telepress, which is right here in Kent. So they are a renewable energy program participant. And let's see, I just wanted to, I think that covers the commercial factor, yeah, or the renewable factor. I just wanted to also touch with you guys about our referral service. So residential and commercial customers have access to this awesome referral contractor referral service where you can access a database of carefully vetted contractor professionals available through our PSE contractor referral program. But if you actually are a contractor, we also offer our Trade Ally program. So this is a great opportunity for contractors to go ahead and sign up for open enrollment. It happens once or twice a year through PSE Trade Ally program. And you have access to marketing tools and resources, streamlined rebate application procedures, and you really gain a competitive advantage over non-members by having access to provide customers PSE instant rebates. And anybody that's interested, of course, you can just reach out to me and I will get you connected with the Trade Ally Network for the application process and upcoming open enrollment events. So that is a lot of information I've covered. I just wanted to touch on our EnviroStars program. This is before I end the presentation portion of today's workshop, but EnviroStars is, like I mentioned before, it's a statewide green business recognition program where participating businesses earn access to assistance in reducing costs, conserving resources, gaining a competitive edge, and contributing to a clean, healthy community. So if you think about it, if you are interested in planning to do an energy efficiency project, you can reach out to Puget Sound Energy. We can reduce the cost of that project maybe by 100%. While you're applying to become an EnviroStar and you get on that database. And if you're a contractor, you can be on, you can also join the Trade Ally database. So you can actually be a part of 2 new marketing databases where customers can really vet the kind of contractor they want to work with or business that they want to work with. And EnviroStars, you're meeting a certain green standard. And it really doesn't take a lot for the businesses. You go through a checklist. Again, this is free. The process is free to the businesses. They go through a checklist. They get points for each green action item that they take on and accomplish. And then the businesses also get new ideas and, good consulting on how to implement more actions down the road. And then you fill out the checklist and then you become a recognized business and gain access to free marketing benefits and listed on the green business directory. So it's really just 3 steps. You start the application online, the measures are checked, and then you get recognized. And it's, looking at 6 different areas, including energy, pollution prevention, solid waste, transportation, wastewater, water, and community. And so really any industry could achieve this recognition. And so I just wanted to focus on at least one in Kent. So this is Surge Car Wash, and they became a recognized Enviro business in 2020 and have been using this program to guide their sustainability practices ever since. and this is really just an incredible rich resource. As I've mentioned, PSC is a proud member agency of EnviroStars, and I personally get to serve on the steering and member directory committees. And I'm really excited when businesses start this process. I love learning how this improves their practices, but also access to new customers. And if you have any questions about EnviroStars or becoming an EnviroStar, you can go ahead and go online to envirostars.org, or just reach out to me and I'd be happy to get you connected. And that really concludes the presentation portion of this workshop today. Does anybody have any questions?
I didn't have any questions in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to open it up or put it back in the chat.
I have one question.
Okay.
And that is just curious because maybe because this is my experience having worked in Seattle for so many years. What happens when you find a facility that is poorly managed and poorly owned, 50,000 above? How do you convince them to improve? Because lighting is, heating and all the electrical is just a little teeny part of the issue.
Oh, you mean like just how they're managing the property itself?
They're just managing the property really poorly. Because I mean, I'm in real estate, but I do know one of our locations that we had was always water running in. There was all sorts of issues, and they did nothing to fix it. And something tells me that happens a lot with what you guys are dealing with.
Yes, and that's why behavior is a big part of the process. You do have to have motivated staff, but I think showing business owners how much money they can save and how much, or the building owners, how much money they can save. And then on top of it, if it is a building that needs to come into compliance, there is that regulatory stick, right? But not wanting to focus on the stick, right? There's carrots. And I would say it's just more about demonstrating to the building owner that it's just, it's going to save them money in the long run, and it's going to make the experience, the atmosphere for their clients better.
No, I agree.
And so sometimes that does take a little bit of prodding, but I think that's a great question, and I don't have a lot of anecdotal representatives of that. So I'll reach out to the energy engineers.
Yeah, I'm just curious. And the other thing is, because I do know you guys are trying to do the same thing on the individual side, because I get those postcards, I read them all, if that how inefficient we are. And
the residential, you mean, or like the small business?
Yeah, the residential one. That's why. So I know it's similar to this, and I was just thinking, okay, we're those people that don't call you. I know, but there's a reason. But no, but anyway, I'm just thinking, wow, I know how decent our house is, and just knowing that not everybody does what we do. So I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I think that the behavior part of it is huge, and certainly something I am looking into with program managers and figuring out what incentivizes people to change their behavior, because it certainly isn't, it shouldn't be focused on the regulatory. It shouldn't be focused on the six. People should want to change.
Yeah, they want to change and be better. So, and be cleaner, but not everybody wants that.
I think people just don't realize like how feasible it is too. So I hope that presentations like this and more in-depth conversations will lead to that. But
yeah,
again,
I like these presentations. I wish more people would see this because it's good info. It's really good info. But
well, I'm glad it's available and online, or it's recorded, so people haven't had a chance to be here today. They can take a look at it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for attending. Thanks for your questions. I really agree, behavior is where it's at. And so thanks so much for your time today. My contact information will always be available through the presentation. And Katrina, we know each other through ambassadors too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And of course,
thank you for doing such an awesome job.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. Yes, and of course we will share this on our YouTube, and maybe I'll start trying to just promote it on Facebook, etc., just so people can see, they can see the workshops that we're doing.
This would be a good
we have a lot of workshops. Yeah, and sometimes people just, don't get a chance to attend, or they didn't register or whatnot. And I
Right.
say it all the time that, it is on our YouTube channel, but some folks do not need that extra push to either go to the YouTube to visit and see it or whatnot. So
Yeah.
anytime you have anybody that has questions, or as you guys being ambassadors, it's great to just kind of push them, share a link with them, show them where to go,
I like it.
explain to them where to go, and that helps out on the back end as well. But we will definitely be sending this presentation out to all the folks that registered. And again, as I mentioned, it will be on our YouTube channel. And we do appreciate Heather for presenting for us and being an amazing ambassador, as well as you, Katrina. And I think if you guys don't have any other questions, that's all we have for today. And we appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you, Kara, as well.
Will we be able to start meeting and be 3 feet apart pretty soon with masks on?
Pretty soon. Pretty soon. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you
Bye,
guys so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.